At a Green Line station on the west side of Chicago, riders are greeted by giant photos from a different time. They were taken by photographer Dorrell Creightney, who worked in Chicago and Sweden from the 1960s through the 80s and died in 2011. But his work is not well known, and his daughters are on a mission to change that.
My dad was a commercial photographer, like an advertising photographer, but he just had a camera with him wherever he went.
And they're discovering that he took a lot of photos. Samantha Creightney and Vanessa Stokes estimate that their father left behind between 300,000 and 500,000 images. Some of it was the work he did as a commercial photographer, fashion, advertising, corporate work. The River North studio he opened in 1969 is believed to be the first in Chicago owned by a black photographer.
Some prints.
He may have made his living doing commercial work, but his passion, it seems, was for people. From people on the street to top musicians passing through town, Dorrell Creightney took a lot of photos purely as art, and he rarely showed them to anyone. Now, his daughters and his widow face the daunting task of digging through so many negatives. But that, they say, comes with the fun of discovery.
Yeah, this is Nancy Wilson here.
And especially the thrill of finding his celebrity photos, like Aretha Franklin, Jimi Hendrix, Dizzy Gillespie, John Coltrane.
When he was alive, we found pictures of Miles Davis. And he was like, I don't even remember taking pictures of Miles Davis. Well, if they're in there, I guess I took them, you know? So, yeah.
Dorrell Creightney was born in Jamaica and came to Chicago with his family in 1954 when he was 18. He got interested in fashion photography first, when he worked as a department store window dresser. He lived in Sweden for a few years when he was single, and then again soon after he married Maxine.
I think as an immigrant, and coming from a colonial country, he just wanted to see the world and do things, really.
In Sweden, he shot some of his biggest celebrities.
The one that particularly comes to mind is the Supremes. They were in Stockholm for a few days. He got in with the musicians, and that was how he was able to do a lot of like the backstage type shooting.
It's a godsend when images like this show up that you didn't know even existed before.
Bob Black was a Chicago Sun-Times photographer from 1968 to 2006. He never knew Dorrell Creightney, but agreed to look through some of his work.
I think he had a very great eye, and he had a sense of timing, like the teenage girl that had her hand up to the face. I'm sure that hand went up so fast. So he caught the, what Cartier-Bresson called the decisive moment. He caught it.
Dorrell Creightney retired from photography in 1983. He was still in his 50s, and some mysteries remain, like why he put it all behind him, and why he so rarely showed anyone his art photography.
He never really talked about it. So when we started going through it with him, when he was still here, there was a lot of contention with him. Because I think that he was reminded of what he didn't accomplish, like what he didn't do with it, you know?
By any measure, this is a huge project. They know there may be monetary value in this archive, but they say that's not primarily what drives them.
All this beauty that he left behind that, you know, is significant, especially for a black man living in Chicago. That's what drives me. And he left this for us to do that.
I like this one, though.